No, we needed one more thing, one more beverage to podcast on for this week, and I honestly, you said either finding a wine or a beer sounds good, and I just didn't want to bring the beer with me to work today. So
why?
I thought we're going with wine.
Okay, I was wondering why this choice was made. I was happy that you made it though, because I was not that I mind. Like a lot of times we've done a couple beers in a row during the week for the podcast, and that's fine.
Right.
But I like mixing it up because I also think it keeps my palate a little spry.
Right. And we did Modern Times already. To do another Modern Times, we would really be
and we've done a lot of
fawning all over them.
It's a little too much.
We do love their beers.
They are delicious.
But we may be taking it a little bit too far. So
yeah. So I'm glad that you have brought a wine that I had never heard of, and you hadn't heard of it until...
Not many people have.
When did you last...
Yesterday.
Okay. But when did you see it, though?
I did not see the bottle until today.
Okay. This is... we have that kind of a unique wine for this. Give it a shot. I'm Andrew.
And I am Keith, and we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we are about today is the Kings of Prohibition red wine blend. It's a blend of 60% Cab and 40% Shiraz, and it is from the Barossa Valley in Australia.
Oh, so, very interesting.
So this was... many people know I work for Trader Joe's. They last week had their annual captain's meeting where all the managers of all the stores get together. And this was, I guess, one of the things that was a huge hit among the captains. And my boss then actually, she was talking about it, saying it's a cool bottle, but not only that, she recommended the wine, and that little bit stuck in my head yesterday when I was like, "We need something."
When you heard about it yesterday.
When I heard about it yesterday,
okay.
And then I went and then when I saw the bottle today, I was like, "This is a cool bottle." So that is how we have wound up with this particular beverage to try today. So,
can I ask you something about the captain's meeting?
Sure.
Do they start it with them saying, "Oh, Captain, my Captain"?
I have no idea. I've never been.
Do they say, "Ride, Captain, ride"?
Upon that mystery ship?
Exactly.
That would be funny.
I would love that.
Little blues image.
That would be like when someone retires. Ride, Captain, ride upon that mystery ship. That would be pretty
423 captains sail.
That would be great.
Yeah, could do it.
Really good.
That'd be good.
I also seem to like these parties because they drink at them. That's pretty cool.
Well, they try.
Sample.
They get to try the foods and the beverages. They get so they get to see the new stuff that's coming out.
Just walk in trashed. I've got to tell you about what happened at the meeting.
No.
Okay.
No, not that I've ever seen. They come home with a really cool binder of the new stuff that's coming out over the next few months. Yeah. So newsflash: the next couple of months, pumpkin.
Are they there? Or this week or next week? Pumpkin.
I think that the squashes have shown up. They could be there tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely that is the next brew day. Will be the pumpkin porter for sure.
Nice.
But back to the beverage at hand, like I said, or in hand shortly.
Yes.
This, like I said, is the bottle is really cool. I'm so glad you sent this picture because it was nowhere to be found.
That's how fresh and new it is.
I typed it in 9 different ways, and there wasn't even someone passed out holding it in their hand. Like sometimes you see those pictures oh, that's from Facebook, or something like that. There wasn't even any of that. It was nothing. So like I said, I'm so glad that you even took this. I had to do a little bit of editing though, because over here there was some keys or something like that. I don't know.
Possibly. Well, this is
what was over here. I was like, Keith, work on your framing next time.
Well, I had no idea you were going to be using it for the podcast. That is actually taken in our break room as I was having my lunch. There was a Post-it note on the side of it with my name on it. I don't think you can see that.
No,
so
I don't believe I could.
But no, good editing. It's
I did just enough. Like I said, I could. It's I'm not a Photoshop master by any means, so I did what I could. All right. Obviously, the bottle is not here on the table, which is always bothersome because I'm kind of worried where it might be, who may have it. I can see the cap on the table, so the cap's already off. He's got his nose in it.
He is right. Maybe he had an itch. He's scratching
like a bear up against a tree. He is scratching his nose on the bottle. At some point, maybe when we have maybe a year anniversary on Twitch, maybe I'll switch that Phil Collins picture to the older version of the re-release. It'll be we're a year older.
Well, we've got other albums. We could find some other.
I know, but I would go back to the No Jacket Required. That was
good
because the bottle in front of the eye and stuff like that.
Or even the face value, but I don't think I have that one.
I mean, I could find the picture on the internet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If we wanted to cheese it up, I still like, when they talk about movies like, oh, well, they did everything practical effects. There's no CGI. This is no CGI. I literally have this album, and I have one camera just to be aimed at this album.
It's the Collins
That is
cam,
how
as we
important
say.
this is. That's how important this is.
Yes.
Even more important, we need the bottle.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's grab the bottle, and we will go back to our original graphic right there. And this bottle is super cool.
We got to work the...
Again, it's all about the contents within.
Right.
But this is definitely very unique and neat. At the first, when you even took a picture of it, for a split second, I was like, oh, is this like a port or something like that? Like I was thinking those kinds of things.
Well, and I thought it was kind of weird initially because I saw, it's from Australia. It says Al Capone on it. It's referencing Prohibition, and I thought Prohibition was a uniquely American thing, but I've got a little info sheet that our store puts out, and it mentions that Prohibition actually started in Australia in 1910. So it was kind of a worldwide thing going on at that time. So
and where did you say this wine was from?
This is from Australia, the Barossa Valley.
Look at that! Look what you've done.
60-40.
Didn't pour myself enough. I'm bad on my wine glasses. I'm going to admit that for anyone that all of a sudden in the comment section is going to be like, that looks more like a Pinot glass or something like that. It probably is. Like I said, my larger, bold red wine glass, I only had one, and I like everything at least to match. So it was either going a little smaller or a little bigger, and like I said, for the purposes of being able to slosh it around and get
with
more
the Cab and the Shiraz, we thought we'd do that.
Like I said, I think Keith made the right call that we went for the bigger glass. But that is
kind of hard to tell the color.
Yeah, it is. It's as
Blends right
dark
into
as
my
my
shirt.
shirt, pretty much, or as Keith's shirt. Not quite that
what are we
dark, but
doing?
it's in there.
Yeah.
It's in that color range. It is
Definitely,
very dark.
very purple.
Purple, little ruby
purpley
red on
red.
the outside if
Yeah.
you really look, like I said, down, if you're really starting to analyze color. Which I think you do earlier in the evening. As the evening goes on, you don't pay attention to color. That's my guess.
There's some nice fruit. I get the heat though. Is that what you're?
100%, yeah.
14.6. That's it.
Or
I got that right there.
All right, how about 14%?
Oh, okay. So the info sheet says 14. Yeah, somebody's lying.
Yeah,
somebody's lying.
I would 100% agree. Like I said, I got some. Initially, I was like, it's interesting how your brain works and how you initially interpret flavors. Like initially, like if you'd have said as soon as you put it to your nose, you have to say something, I would have said jammy fruit. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Like I said, that's what I would have blurted out because I was like, oh, that's jam. But then it really softens up really quickly. But then, then it was an alcohol kind of base under that. Like it was pretty hot,
right?
Like hitting into my nose. But then there's some other nice, like little. Oh, now you're tasting. You're jumping ahead. I see how it is.
I'm just trying to keep my hands clean. I didn't realize I'd gone that crazy.
Putting a little bit on you.
Yeah, there's
some dark jammy, but then there's also like a brighter like cherry note in there too, like underlying after you. It's like jammy, heavier fruit, like blackcurrant thing to me, or something like that, like black raspberry, blackcurrant, and then there's like the alcohol kind of heat, and then under that there's like a bright cherry fruit.
There's that. There's also a little. I get a little oak, a little something, a little spice, a little. There's another little like depth of flavor that's not fruit.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely there could be
that.
There's a little oak in there too. It's very It's very intriguing. It's very complex. Like I said, I would be worried that there's gonna be a lot of heat, like it's gonna be like that's
Well, and I've only had this open now for real time, 15 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
So
15,
So
20
it's
tops.
possible it needs a little more time, but at least we've got a nice big bowl we can sip and analyze.
That's right. All right, well, let's do the sipping part.
Remarkably drinkable, actually, considering for me the heat. I'm getting some spicy.
Yeah.
I'm getting the fruit.
Yeah, I'm getting the spicy, getting the fruit. It initially
nice
kind of
body, actually.
It kind of does. It initially is like astringent's not the right word. Like it's drying like right away. Like I feel like this. Like oh god, that's gonna be. And then it like
could be the tannin.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's that. Like it feels like that really hits, but then it goes away fairly quickly. Like when I took that first sip, I was like, oh god, I need water. I feel like I was like, oh, I need a little water. Maybe I should have had some. And then that kind of goes away. And then now my mouth is even actually like watering a little bit. I think maybe from the little tart of the fruit that's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. There's
one of my coworkers would say, I think grip. He likes to use the term grippy, that it grabs onto your palate. But like you said, then it lets go pretty
Yeah,
fast.
like the
I think if this was all cab, I bet there would be more of that. That would linger on, but that Shiraz probably balances that part out.
I wonder, since you're saying this was 60-40, I wonder if it was like 50-50, if it would be what that would be like. Like, I like cab and I like shortening, like I said, but that one, like I said, I wonder if maybe that's a little bit of the tannins or something in there. Did it say this is 2017, I think, right?
Yeah. This is pretty young. Definitely dry. It's got some dry, but it's got some nice fruit on it has a nice fruit.
There is
finish.
a lot of good fruit and flavors.
Yeah.
Actually in there. Like I said, the dry to me though, that's the interesting part. Let me have another.
Oh, this is kind of a good sign for me though, because the fact that I'm actually enjoying this tells me that I'm getting closer to appreciating red wine.
The weather is cooling down just enough.
The weather's cooling down enough.
It means my air conditioning is doing just enough of a good job.
Because so many people at work, customers will be red wine. I'm like, well, I don't really like red wine in the summertime, so I'm not really a good guy to.
Like you couldn't still.
Can't.
You're telling me that you couldn't still suggest a red wine based on things that
no,
you
I
like?
can. Of course, I can suggest. Of course.
Okay, well that's all they're
But
asking
there are people
for.
like
they're not
want
asking
something
for you to have a
new.
drink with them outside.
No, I'm not saying that they are saying that. But which one of these do you like best? I'm like, well, I really don't like any of those right now. I'm drinking white and rosés.
But you can't throw yourself ahead in time to like, well, if it was cold outside, I'd probably pick that
Not
one.
based on a tiny little sip, and not based on when I'm
Well, you
really
can
not enjoying it.
Well, but you could still say then, well, I don't like those, but I like that one. Couldn't you?
Yes. Yes.
okay.
I can't tell you on these because these are new and I'm not really into red wines, but these
Right.
are ones I've had in the past.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
That's the
Yeah,
full.
I can
That's
do
the
that.
full sentence.
I can
That's
do
the full
that.
sentence that
Yes,
you have
and
to
I
have.
do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't just clam up. You just shake your head back and forth and like crawl into a corner.
I can't talk to you about those.
Yeah. I could tell you about other things, but you didn't ask me about
Stop.
them.
Stop.
Why don't you pick another one? And I will tell you about that one.
Warmer?
Maybe.
Warmer? Yes, that one I like.
Actually, it should be colder, right?
Well, yeah. Colder weather-wise. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just takes a few, like on my third and fourth, I'm not getting quite that as much of a grab as
Okay.
it was. So I think that was maybe just more my palate a little bit.
Okay.
Like I said, that was kind of why I was like, well, let's talk a little bit. Let's have a few more sips because I just didn't want that to be the impression because sometimes that is hard with wines where it's like, and that happens too with like bourbons and other things too. Sometimes if you've been either drinking other things or if that's the first thing you've had, like your palate is like, whoa, you're not ready for all of that flavor. And there can be so much more concentrated flavor in a wine or like I said, a whiskey or something like that, that you've got to analyze and really kind of take in, I think. Whereas a beer sometimes, because it's colder, I think your mouth can react a little better.
Yeah.
But if you want to head on over to the website at AboutBeverages.com, that is where you can find even more options when it comes to wines that we've had, beers, whiskeys, scotches, gin, all kinds of different things. There is podcasts going back 9 years now, something crazy. Like so there was a hiatus in there.
Yeah,
like
it's a couple year break.
It's a solid 7 years.
When are you going to be torturing me with the pumpkin beers?
That's got to be happening pretty soon. That might start happening next week. I may have to go to a Total Wine this weekend and start looking for things. I didn't see anything.
Why did I bring it up?
I know, he almost would have forgotten. But I have not now. Well, we were talking about the porter earlier. Maybe we just add that one to one of them as well.
Okay.
But anyway, so you can go there if you're interested in something you may already be at and just want to subscribe to us. You can do that on YouTube. We would appreciate that as well. We are actually getting some more views there, which I really appreciate. And the other thing, too, is if you choose to want us on the go, maybe you're jogging or biking or something like that and want just a little quick snippet of some tasting notes or other things, and you want it just in audio form, you can download us on iTunes. All of these things, search for About Beverages, and you will find us because no one else has the name About Beverages.
We will be there.
We will be there. Wherever there are wines to taste, we will be there. There is no suffering. There's no suffering when you're tasting good things
That's
like this.
true.
That's true. But, as we always say, whether we like it or not,
You should give it a shot.